Bitcoin just keeps on dropping more and more, and this is going to be a huge warning because what will be happening next will be surprising many of you guys. So we need to be talking about that exactly. What do I think is going to be happening next? Should we be panicking right now during this Bitcoin dip? Are we going to be headed even lower? Well, we need to be talking about that exactly, about the Hong Kong spot ETF, about the FOMC meeting that we are going to be seeing today, about the Bitcoin RSI, which is massively dropping towards the downside right now, and much more things. So can we once again push up the likes back above the 150 likes? That would be absolutely amazing. And as always, let's have a look into that short term. And in that short term, well, Bitcoin just keeps on dropping more and more towards the downside. And to be honest, I did not expect that the Bitcoin was going to be dropping this much towards the downside. Of course, we have been talking about the fact that Bitcoin was looking kind of weak yesterday, but I've also been saying that Bitcoin is coming very close towards that bottom, and I was thinking that that bottom was already in at these levels right here. But right now, either this liquidity grab scenario is playing out, or we are absolutely doomed, and we are going to be headed back towards the 52k level, or maybe even below that towards the 50k level. And I just want to be starting off with saying that it is not feeling natural, it is not feeling right to be bullish at these levels right here, and it is feeling like quite literally this dip is not coming to an end. But usually during times you are feeling like this, usually you are actually coming very close towards that bottom. Actually, all of these previous times, I've been feeling like this dip was not coming to an end. But all of these times, it was actually the bottom. And all of these times, it was actually hard to be buying during this dip. It was actually hard to be going against the majority of the crowd and actually buy during this dip at a minus 20% correction, while everyone was screaming for lower prices. But usually whenever this happens, like this chart is showing, well, that is actually the time you should be buying, and that is exactly what I'm doing. And also in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly why still I am going to be buying at these levels, because first of all, we might just see a little bit of a liquidity grab right over here. Now, it is a pretty bit of a harsh liquidity grab right now. We are falling down below key levels of support. So yes, it is going to be quite risky to be buying at these levels over here. We could still, of course, come back towards that 52k level. I'm not counting that out as a scenario that could be happening. So that is also going to be the reason why I'm going to be also talking about some confirmations you might want to wait for in order for first this signal to be flashing and then actually enter the market. Because yes, to be honest, it is actually quite risky at these levels. I am not counting out the scenario that we could still come back towards that 52k level. But anyways, let's get right into the reasons why I'm still going to be buying at these current levels over here. And first of all, we might just be seeing a little bit of a liquidity grab. What you do need to understand is that a lot of the Bitcoin traders actually had their stop losses or their liquidations sitting below this exact levels, and right now Bitcoin has been dumping below very sharply, very aggressively, with a steep dump towards the downside. Okay, so if we could be getting back above this level of support, that will be extremely bullish. If we could be getting back above this support, that's going to be for sure going to be very bullish. Now, right now, it's not looking like it's happening just yet, but definitely do keep your eye out on this. Now, I'm going to be talking as well on the bearish scenario a little bit later, but first of all, let's talk about the bullish scenario, because still the Bitcoin funding rates are trading very, very low during this bullish consolidation. And yes, we might be forming a little bit of a falling wedge structure right now. Now, we need to be seeing this bounce, first of all, in order for us to actually confirm this bullish consolidation, because yes, right now it is actually looking like we are falling down below it, right through it to the downside, which is not at all looking very good. But either way, if we are going to be seeing this little bit of a bounce from this current level, well, then we are just going to be confirming the Bitcoin funding rates going down while we are in a bullish consolidation, meaning that people are closing their Bitcoin long positions and actually opening Bitcoin short positions. And when the majority of the market market is shorting, well, that is usually signaling a little bit of a bottom. Well, we could be seeing this in the last cycle, right? Whenever the majority was shorting, whenever the Bitcoin funding rates were negative or very low, well, that was usually signaling that bottom for Bitcoin, that was signaling the bottom for every single correction. So yeah, the majority of the Bitcoin market is right now bearish. The majority is shorting. The sentiment is definitely shifting towards the bearish side, and usually whenever this happens, that is going to be indicating that close towards a bottom. Now also we can be seeing that the majority of the liquidity is right now definitely towards the top side. Now you could be arguing that also a lot of liquidity is sitting at that 50k level, and yes indeed, if we are going to be coming and closing down below this level of support, in that case we might be starting to have a look in towards that 50k level getting reached. I am definitely not closing out that scenario, but right now most definitely the trend is still bullish. We are still seeing actually a bullish liquidity grab. The majority of the market is shifting bearish with a bearish sentiment, so I am still myself rather having a look in towards that topside liquidity. Now in this part of the video it will start to get very interesting, because we need to be talking about the Hong Kong spot ETF, and we need to be talking about the FOMC meeting, and also we need to be talking about the Bitcoin RSI. So first of all, talking about the spot ETF, we are actually seeing something very similar like the US ETF, but just on a smaller time frame, because on that 4-hourly time frame we could also be seeing a little bit of a pump, a little bit of a hype before the Hong Kong ETF, and whenever it actually got launched, well, it got created like a very similar structure with this top over here, and then it created this huge dump towards the downside. This has also exactly happened at the US ETF, where we got a huge hype towards the upside, then it actually got launched, and then we got a huge dump towards the downside. While we can actually be seeing that the ETF inflows for the Hong Kong ETF were actually quite nice. We could be seeing that they have been buying $183 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday, which is actually quite high. It's actually quite surprising, because a lot of people were actually underestimating how much inflows we were going to be getting from this Hong Kong ETF. So this Hong Kong ETF is definitely bullish for the markets. Is it just repeating history right now, where we are going to be seeing a little bit of a sell-off, and then we're going to be bottoming out and create our next move towards the upside? Well, let's see. What we definitely do know is that the US ETFs are kind of lagging behind, right? Because BlackRock has been seeing 4 consecutive days of no inflows, also no outflows at all. So this is definitely not a very good look for the US ETFs. Now, where we have been having a look in towards like a month ago was that these ETF investors are actually not that smart, because literally at the exact Bitcoin top, we have seen the largest ETF inflows, and literally right now during this dip, well, these ETF investors are not investing at all in Bitcoin. So also these ETF investors, they are literally buying the top and yeah, maybe even selling the bottom right now. I mean, definitely it is not a very good look, and definitely these ETF investors are not very smart, and it is not going to be a very good indication of what's going to be happening next for the Bitcoin price, because they've literally been buying the Bitcoin top the hardest. Now, what is going to be very important is the FOMC meeting of today, and this one is going to be coming in about 9 hours from now, and everyone is literally having like a bearish sentiment on this FOMC meeting. We can also be seeing that right now people are even expecting that a rate hike is going to be happening, and previously a rate cut was expected. Right now a rate hike with 1.1% is going to be expected. Now, very likely interest rates will remain the same. That is just going to be very likely, but what is definitely a fact, that the majority of the sentiment is right now flipping bearish for this FOMC meeting that we are going to be having today. At the same time, we can also be seeing that the bond yields are right now increasing heavily. Of course, this is also going to be one of the reasons why Bitcoin has been dumping towards the downside right now in the recent few days. But I think that if in the case that Bitcoin is dipping towards the downside right now because of the FOMC meeting, well, in that case, the market is just overreacting way too much. But well, that is usually just how the Bitcoin market works, right? Whenever there's a lot of fear and whenever there's a bearish sentiment, we usually overcorrect towards the downside. And whenever there is a bullish sentiment in the market, we usually overpump towards the upside. Now, having a look into the Bitcoin RSI, it is literally dropping below the levels not seen ever since September 2023. And it is literally dropping to levels from August of 2023. So yeah, we are reaching these oversold levels not seen in a very long time. And after we have reached these oversold levels right over here, we have literally been pumping so much towards the upside. And right now what you need to keep in mind is that we are still trading inside of a bull market. So these oversold moments should actually be the time to be accumulating, to be embracing the Bitcoin dip and to be buying more. At least that is what I'm doing. I am buying more myself at these levels. At the same time, we can also be seeing that we are seeing that perfect correction, which we have been seeing this whole cycle. We have been seeing about an average correction of minus 20% to all the way up towards minus 24%. And right now we have been seeing a correction of, let me grab it exactly. We are seeing a correction of minus 23% at this current moment. So yes, we are exactly seeing that average correction right now playing out. It would not surprise me to see a bottom being formed anytime soon right here. But anyways, yes, I would still be saying that this is going to be a key level to hold and we need to be seeing this bounce back up towards this level in order to really be bullish right now. Because the thing is about this current structure is if we're going to be falling down below, we do not have any support until we're going to be reaching that 52.7k level, that 50k level, and in between of these two levels, there's just going to be thin air. There's not going to be any support in between of these levels. So if we are definitely going to be losing this level over here, it is going to be very dangerous for Bitcoin. So if you think it is going to be too risky to be buying at these levels right now, you should actually be waiting for some confirmations. One confirmation could be getting back above this level of support, because in that case, yes indeed, this dump towards the downside has been getting confirmed as a liquidity grab, and in that case it would definitely be very bullish for Bitcoin. Now another confirmation you could be waiting for is this falling wedge structure actually getting confirmed and then a breakout towards the upside. In that case, you're going to be playing it very safe, because we are just going to be confirming a bullish consolidation over here. It is just going to be giving you some more time to evaluate the market for a longer period, and then still you are going to be waiting for that massive breakout and then actually enter the market. That would be a very good strategy, and that would be also avoiding the risk of us actually coming down towards that 50k and already being involved in the market. But if you are going to be getting interested in trading on the market right now and buying up the dip, make sure to check out the first link down below, because you can right now be claiming a $2,000 trade over on Bybit. On top of that, you are going to be eligible for this $40,000 deposit bonus. So make sure to check out the first link down below. Now, if Bybit is not going to be available in your country, make sure to check out either Phemex or Deepcoin, because there no KYC is required. Now, once again, I do not think that right now should actually be the time to be shaken out, because we are literally on the verge of a next move towards the upside. We are still in a parabolic trend on these larger time frames, and when in doubt, just zoom out. And in the larger time frames, it is still looking very good. We are still holding major levels of support on that monthly time frame, and I am just going to be buying more. That is going to be my strategy. I've been buying more altcoins over here, and if we're going to be dropping down even lower towards these levels over here, well, I'm just going to be buying even more, and I'm going to be getting even cheaper entries. That is going to be my strategy. I do not think that right now should actually be the time to be getting fooled. But guys, anyways, let me know what you guys think about the market. Are we going to be dropping down below towards this 50k level, or is this just a huge bear trap? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, with that being said, make sure to be following me over on Twitter to stay up to date about every single market development. And guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.